Dace is in, Dan. Thanks for choosing to watch the video. Now, in my last video, I was fishing for pike on the river, and you might have been expecting part 2 of that video, which is coming, I promise. But in this one, you're going to join me on the river trying to catch some decent roach in the winter just gone. In previous winters, I promised myself that I was going to go and have a go to try and get a decent roach from the river. But to be honest, I just didn't get round to it. There was always something else that I was fishing for. You know, I was either targeting the perch, the pike, chub, grayling. Just never got round to trying for the roach. Just didn't get round to it. So this year, I was really going to have a good go at them. My approach was going to be with maggots, just trotting maggots underneath the float, using the centrepin reel, but we'll go into the rigs a little bit further into the video. On my very first session, I did actually manage to catch a few nice fish. Not huge, but it's a start to my little roach campaign. On the float, on the maggots, hopefully we'll catch bigger than that, but it is a start. But it felt like I had a better chance of a bigger roach on some of the other rivers, such as the Stour or the Avon, so that's where I headed. It's a tiny little minnow. A lot of fish around this size. Let's have them in. Getting a few of these. And there we are. That is what we come for. It's the right species, but a fraction of the size we're after. Just playing around, going for silvers. Look at all these. Look at this chunk. That is a lot of fun. Came here for the roach, but got a bit preoccupied with these, but it has been fun. I'm going home now. Bit of a chunky monkey, ain't ya? Go on. So on that trip, I got completely distracted by the amazing dace fishing. I was just spraying maggots and fishing shallow and caught some really, really nice dace, but I don't think that was how I was going to catch the roach. So I plan to go back again, this time target some other areas of the river, fish a bit slower and a bit deeper, and hopefully I was going to catch up with some of those roach. On my next visit, I started the session really quite strong with some really nice fish. And that's before moving swims and then finding even more. I was still fishing with the flow, caught loads, and certainly some of these fish were probably approaching about a pound, pound and a half. This was actually only a short session, only a couple of hours, so I was really pleased with the result and I felt like I was getting to know the river. It was a few weeks before I could get back. This time I was with Dan and we decided to initially target the pike with lures. As you might know, I've been trying to catch a big pike from the river, and this river certainly contained them. Yeah, fish on, Dan. Fish. Yeah. Oh no, where's he going? Oh no, we got a load of weed here, look. Where is he? Got him? Yeah. Yes! Decent. There we are. Yeah. So if I'm going to catch a big one, I might have to look beyond my local rivers, and that's exactly what I've done down in Hampshire. I've not been here long, 10 or 15 minutes. I've had this on a shad tease. So yeah, happy with that. But we're wanting one that's about 3 or 4 times the size of this, but happy. And whilst I didn't catch exactly what I was looking for, it was a lot of fun. After a morning on pike, we decided to get the float rod back out and target the roach, and I'm glad I did, because I started to catch exactly what I was after. Some stunning, stunning roach, bigger than I've ever caught before. I've been concentrating so much today to try and get a big roach, and it feels like we're getting there. Look at that. Look at the scale pattern. Yeah, so he's not the 2-pounder, but he's not too far off. We are getting there. Such stunning winter fish with beautiful silver flanks, just absolutely stunning. And it wasn't just me that caught some nice fish that afternoon. Dan caught some roach too, to a similar sort of size, and it felt like we were getting to grips with the river. What I would say, absolute pleasure using the pin. You know, you could use a fixed ball for this if you want, but to be honest, I was fishing the inside line quite a lot, so it was really nice to fish with a centre pin. It's so smooth. I do feel like I've got better control over the float when I'm using the centre pin, and it's just a lovely, lovely way to fish. What I would say, sometimes I was using Fineliner floats, other times I was using bigger Avon or Speci sticks in terms of the size of the float. That kind of was dictated by the flow, which you got to think on these sessions, it wasn't consistent. You know, the flow of the river was completely governed by how much rain we'd had. Sometimes I would be able to use a 2-gram Fineliner float. Generally speaking, I was using the heavier Speci sticks or Avon floats, around about 5 grams, so quite a lot of weight. You can tell, you know, you can tell when you need a heavier weight on the float. If it's lying too flat like that as it's trotting down, you know the river's got control of the float. You haven't. So what you're wanting the float to sit upright in the water, and you know, when the flow's quite heavy, you'll be surprised you need a reasonable amount of weight on the olivet to keep it upright in the water. Generally speaking, on these sessions, I found about 5 grams was about right for me. In terms of the outfit that I was using the Glide rod. My centrepin reel was JW Young and Sons. It was the Trudex. That was loaded with 4-pound line. And yeah, like a 5-gram float, 5-gram olivet to balance with that. My hook length had a quick chain swivel down to a hook length. The hook length had varied between 2 pound and 3.5 pound, trying to get away with as light as I can. There was a reasonable amount of snags and stuff in the edge. Didn't want to go too light. Most of the time, size 18 hook with just a single red maggot. Hook size was something that I really played around with quite a lot. I did find that obviously the smaller hooks that you used, the more bites you got. But you know, that did result sometimes in the odd lost fish. I did find like 18 single maggot. That was a fairly good option. I would say that's a really good option if you've got a very forgiving soft rod. generally speaking, you know, I was using more of a 16 or an 18, or, you know, if I wanted to use double maggot, I was using a 16. Single maggot, I was dropping to an 18. But I would definitely say play around with the size of your hook. That did make quite a difference in terms of the number of bites you get. Also the length of the breaking strain, the hook length. Again, if you go down to 2, you're going to get more bites than if you're up near sort of, you know, 3.8 or that heavy. So do play around with those things, and it will depend on your rod quite a lot of the time, I think, and the stiffness of your rod in terms of how fine you can actually go with that tackle before you start losing fish. And you won't believe what happened next. I'm sitting at home just chilling out when all of a sudden I received this.
Right, fished into darkness. It's been hard going all day, and all of a sudden flurry of bites, and then I had this, yes, a 2 pound 15 ounce roach out of nowhere. What an absolute unit. Oh my God.
I mean, what the f***? I thought we were a team. Here we are in the middle of our nice little campaign, and he sodded off somewhere and caught a 215. Bloody outrageous, I know. Well, it's fair to say that after catching that 2 pound 15 roach, absolutely smashing our 2 pound target, Dan became completely unbearable. Oh my God. And then this, and I've got to be honest, part of me doesn't even want to share this with you.
I've f***ing done it. Mate, if anyone knows me, they know I'm after grayling. Here we go, 3 pound 5, absolute unit.
Yeah, that's right, a 3 pound 5 ounce grayling braced with another one that was 3 pound 4. I was not looking forward to my next session with Dan. I've got to be honest, the bragging rights are going to be through the roof, and yeah, if he wasn't unbearable before, he's going to be unbearable now. I think he sent me pictures of that roach and those grayling every other day, and he is driving me mental. And so as we went into the last session, something pretty special had to happen, and it needed to begin with a 3, not a 2, and it needed to be in my net and not bloody Dan's. A couple of weeks later, and yes, you guessed it, I'm back again, but this time I was going to take a completely different approach. I'd been asked to try out some of the new inline grub feeders for Korum, produce a little bit of a video, and I think these grub feeders are going to be incredible for the tench, but I was quite keen here to experiment with them on the river for the roach. I started off by using short rigs with the feeder. Also trying them popped up off of a new little rubber clip that you've got on these feeders, and that did produce a few fish. However, what I decided to do was lengthen off the hook length, so it was about, you know, 1.5 foot long, and I'm glad I did, because that actually produced a really cracking roach on what was a really bright, cold, tough winter's day. As soon as that sun hit the water, I'm freezing. Yes, he's in, Dan. Oh, f***. It is a good one. F***ing done me in the reeds as well. Oh, it's the one we're after, Dan. I think so. There we are. Not quite 2. Last roll of the dice. Bright, tough conditions. Only bite of the morning so far. But yeah, hopefully as things warm up, we might get that 2 pounder. After a quiet spell, the grub feeder did actually manage to land a really nice bag of silvers on what was quite a tough day, and it felt like this little campaign was starting to come to an end. Here we are. Look at all these lovely silvers, all caught on the inline grub feeder. Look at that. I mean, that's quite a clonking great big dace. And I've got a pair like that. Where's the other one? Yeah, that one. Look, that's quite a clonking pair of dace there, look. Some lovely roach, look, he's quite a nice one. But yeah, we're hoping for bigger than that. Let's get these back. Dan actually left that session a completely broken man. He won't mind me saying that he did struggle a bit on that one. These sessions through winter down in Hampshire, they were quite tough at times. It was very, very cold some mornings, you know, going sort of -3 to -4s. So it was quite tough fishing in winter. I suppose I should say well done to Dan for his fish. Dirty, bloody, filthy. Next winter, mate, next winter. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe and all that stuff. The second part of that river pike video is coming very soon. But until then, enjoy your fishing and be lucky.